Magnet television.
Magnet television.
Magnet television.
You're watching Magnet television because what else are you going to do?
Hey there, my name is Timothy Bracy, and I used to play in Mendoza Line, and now I'm in a band called the Paranoid Stout, and I'm going to recount to you a few of my favorite things about music, and I think you're going to be pleased.
Well, hello there. My name is Shannon. I'm 43 years old. I currently reside in Brooklyn, New York. I'm 5'7", I have green eyes, I'm a Cancer, and I work hard to play hard, obviously. Fuckity fuck. Wrong video. Let me start again. Hello, my name is Shannon McArdle, and I am formerly of a band called the Mendoza Line, and currently in a band cunningly dubbed Shannon McArdle. A lot of people ask, well, what is the genre of the Mendoza Line? And I have an official answer for you that I'm going to share. I wrote it down. I found it on the internet. We were indie, pop, alt, country, folk rock. It's really a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Hi, this is Peter Hoffman from the Mendoza Line, and happy to be here.
Okay, in the category of favorite song, which is obviously competitive, I think my favorite song is Sly and the Family Stone's Family Affair, which was the first single on their 1971 album. There's a Riot Going On, or maybe the 60th, I don't know. But the point is, a landmark song, which kind of in 3 concise verses, abetted by an unbelievable groove and amazing hooks, kind of reduces the entire problem of, capitalism and those that aren't served well by it into a concise narrative and in something that's likewise incredibly catchy. It has a lurid quality, it has an Exile on Main Street quality. There's something of somebody who has been through a lot and lived to tell about it. And there's just not a better song to me than It's a Family Affair by Sly and the Family Stone.
Well, that is so difficult. And I feel like a douche answering it because I'm just going to get it wrong. But I think I'm going to say Visions of Johanna. I remember in high school probably hearing it for the first time when my twin brother Philip and I sort of got into Dylan. And I remember the lyric, "The ghost of electricity howls in the bones of her face." And I thought, well, what does that look like? How is that possible? And I was hooked. And I think later on in the Mendoza Line, I think a lyric from Visions of Johanna that really stuck out to me were, hear the one with the mustache say, "Geez, I can't find my knees." And that was so Paul Depler. So for those reasons, and that it's just an amazing song that I wish I had written, Visions of Johanna.
That's an impossible question, of course. I mean, there's so many songs that have been important to me over my life, and to pare it down to just one is really hard. But I think in these times, I think it's good to pick a song that actually is informative and can talk about, a lot of the struggles and protests that people are talking about these days. And I think Alabama Blues by J.B. Lenoir is probably one of the most heartbreaking songs you could ever hear. Not only because, it describes his life, but it describes so much of, what has been happening in this country for the last, 100, 200 years. And it really is just one of the most heartbreaking songs I've ever heard. And anytime I hear it, it's really just an emotional song. And if you haven't heard it, I highly recommend everyone listens to it. I think it's an extremely important song, and one that really speaks to this time, even though it was written a long time ago. And I think, that's what I'm going to choose as my favorite song for now. But, your favorite song always changes. So in happier days, it might be something totally different. But I think that's the song I'm going to choose for today.
The album that changed my life was the Mekons Rock and Roll, and it's funny because I was a little late coming to the Mekons, and the reason was that early on the Mendoza Line was often compared to Mekons because I think there was some political content and some of the kind of guy-girl back and forth, and so I thought I need to check that out. And the first album I bought was the Mekons Rock and Roll, and boy, did that take the top of my head off. And I remember very vividly, pressing play, and the first track being Memphis, Egypt, and the first lyrics being "Destroy your safe and happy life before it is too late." And I thought, oh, well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the essence. And then after that, the ways in which it just kind of embroidered the personal and the political, and the labor and the social anxiety, and it just, to this day, I think is basically a masterclass in what it is that you can do with a rock record and make a difference. And so going forward with our work with Mendoza Line, and going forward with our work, playing in Paranoid Style, it's like I refer back to the Mekons Rock and Roll probably more than anything else. I think it is. I don't think that it's an exaggeration to say it's on the short list of the very best rock albums ever made. It is everything that rock and roll promises to be, with none of the ugly indignities and distortions and indulgences. I love Mekons Rock and Roll.
Again, impossible to answer, but here I go. I am going to say Imperial Bedroom. And I say this because I got really into it when Philip, my twin brother, and I lived in Athens, Georgia. We went to college there. And this would have been maybe around 96 when I was really, really into Costello. And I just remember being so hit by the production and just the insanity of it, but also I think all of the harmonies. And I thought, I want to do that. And that's around the time I started writing. And the song that stuck out to me most was Man Out of Time, just coming in with that screaming, right? And then what is the lyric? He's got a mind like a sewer and a heart like a fridge. He stands to be insulted and he pays for the privilege. I don't know what it means, but it stuck with me. And for those reasons, I'm going to say this album changed my life.
Well, the album that changed my life was, it's really two, but it's Let It Be by The Replacements and Tim by The Replacements, were probably in a tie because I just remember how much those changed my life. I don't think I had listened to really like any sort of indie rock music at the time when I heard those. And actually, I was playing basketball in the front yard of Tim Bracy's house, who's one of the other songwriters from the Mendoza Line, and he brought a speaker out onto the porch and was playing this record, Let It Be. And I literally stopped me in my tracks. I don't think I never heard anything like it before. And, it really changed my entire perception of music. I think at the time I'd only been listening to classic rock or heavy metal or whatever was on the radio. And I didn't even know this kind of music existed. And, to this day, I love The Replacements more than anything. So, I'm going to say Let It Be is the album that changed my life.
That is a hard question. It comprises so many years and so many events, and but I'll tell you about one. I guess I'll tell you about the last one that I attended before things became not attendable, and that was the Drive-By Truckers in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, at the Cat's Cradle, and Peter and I have known Patterson Hood from Drive-By Truckers from our Athens days for 25 years, and we've always kept up with him and always been friendly. But the idea had been that the band I'm playing currently, Paranoid Style, my wife Elizabeth's band, was going to open some shows for them later this year before shows were no longer a phenomena, and so we thought we'd better go and check it out and see kind of what that looked like. And oh my God, and, in son of a gun, it was just, it was Patterson and Mike Cooley and Jay Gonzalez and that whole crew, and just storming through one great song after the next, and you realize they had put together a great American songbook, and it was just, they gave no quarter and took none. Men danced in close formation, too close to one another by our contemporary standards, and the thing built and built, and you just thought, Jesus, this is really something. And this is what stuck with me. The encore was DBT singing "Sign of the Times," and Patterson at the end of this saying, at the end of this incredibly dramatic 2.5 hours, culminating with Prince saying, "The unraveling is happening," the name of their new album, The Unraveling, and then he just goes, DBT motherfuckers. And I just thought, wow, what an extraordinary thing to say to your audience at the end of an incredible show. And that's the best show I've seen recently.
This seems loaded, this question, like it's a trick question pretty much. My very favorite concert of all time that I attended was Stevie Wonder at the Albany, Georgia Civic Center. I don't know what year that, like 85 or whatever. That was amazing. And then as far as concerts I actually participated in, I don't know, I think I have two ties. There was, or a tie of two concerts, as it were. The Mendoza Line played in Kilkenny, Ireland. I'm going to say like 2003, but it's all a blur to me. It was a beautiful venue, and my cousin Stephen joined us. And it was amazing. And right up there with that is, I think, the same tour, going to Athens, Greece. This was all on our Cooking Vinyl tour. And we played at a comic book festival of sorts. And it almost didn't happen because Cooking Vinyl set us up with these beautiful hosts in Athens. They were lovely, but when we arrived, they picked us up from the airport and they said, "Anyone want to go to a titty bar?" And then we didn't see Paul Deppler, our bassist, until about 5 minutes before the show the next day. So it was just fraught with anxiety and anticipation. But it was a lovely and bizarre show.
Well, it's hard to pick one concert that you went to that you would say is the best, but probably the coolest concert I ever went to was I saw Elliott Smith play at the Point in Atlanta, which is an absolutely tiny little club, just a few days after he had played at the Academy Awards. And it was just an unbelievable show. I mean, people were like crying and sobbing in the audience. It was like one of our own had like risen to the mountaintop or something like that. And it was really incredible. I mean, I think you can actually find the show and download it at some places, and you can hear, my friend Andreas, who's actually the drummer in the Mendoza Line at the time, like screaming, "The Ballad of Big Nothing, the Ballad of Big Nothing," over and over again. And I mean, I've never been to a show where I saw so many people crying. It was really such a great show, and he's missed, but it was I'll pick that. Elliott Smith at the point.
It's difficult. It's a difficult question to answer because so many of them are embarrassing, and so much of the entire business can be predicated on embarrassment. You're so vulnerable out there on stage, and on record and in general, and so trying to evaluate that is hard. I think the only things, we played really bad shows, we played really hectic shows, we had shows where people were openly rebelling and totally hostile, but none of that embarrassed me. The only thing that ever really embarrassed me was the idea that you'd run into an audience and no matter what you did, they were just totally indifferent. They were just this attitude that you can feel in the crowd where it doesn't matter what you do, they're not going to care. That's the only time that I ever really felt embarrassed.
I've heard, I read that it was a time at South by Southwest where Tim, my ex-bandmate and husband, and I, ex-bandmate and ex-husband, to be clear, got in a row, and I remember my not having a voice at all, and it was very dramatic, and I think there were some people there that may have been ready to sign us to a lovely label, and they decided not to. It was not my proudest moment, but it has made me who I am.
There was a lot of embarrassing moments in the life of the Mendoza Line. So many, I can't even count them, but there was one that just sticks out as a moment that was pretty embarrassing but also hilarious. We were playing a show at the Mercury Lounge with Tiff Merritt, who at the time was a pretty up-and-coming artist, and we were playing our show, and there's a song that Shannon sings called "A Bigger City," which is a beautiful kind of acoustic song that she just did by herself pretty much, and I could see across the room, across the stage, that Tim was kind of not looking well, and Shannon's playing this beautiful song, and Tim sort of starts swaying back and forth, and right as she's kind of at the emotional center of the song, Tim just kind of falls over and hits the guitar like into an amp, and it's just a loud boing sound, and I ran over to help him get up, but right as the sound happened, Shannon just goes, "Real professional." It was a perfect comic timing, and I don't know, it was, for some reason it always sticks out as a really funny moment and embarrassing, but Shannon and her wit made it more funny than anything else. But there was a lot of embarrassing moments, but I'm sure Tim and Shannon will share those with you as well.
This is Timothy Bracy, and you're watching Magnet Television.
This is Shannon McArdle, and you're watching Magnet Television. And this is Hazel.
This is Pete Hoffman from the Mendoza Line, and you're watching Magnet Television.
Cine.